The Witcher 3 has a lot of choices that you need to make, some being pretty straightforward, such as putting a baby in an oven. During your exploration, you'll find yourself in particular situations where you'll need to make a choice, and in my adventures across the continent, I've made some choices that I wish I could have undone. From soul-binding deals to heart-wrenching betrayals, let's dive into the decisions that haunt even the most seasoned players. If you are a fan of Witcher videos or just gaming videos in general, please be sure to subscribe. I post weekly videos which I'm sure you'll enjoy. Other than that, let's get on to the video. First up on the list is getting greedy with the ladies. Yes, I think you know what I'm talking about. The Witcher 3 does an exceptional job of fleshing out its characters, and especially when it comes to Geralt's romantic interests. Yennefer with her complex history with Geralt, and Triss with her warmth and genuine affection. That's not me taking any sides, by the way. Both offer compelling narratives and emotional depth. However, if you decide to pursue both, you're setting yourself up for what can only be described as a romantic disaster. If you start down Yennefer's path, you'll go on a journey with her that includes the Last Wish quest. But if you also be romancing Triss at the same time, you'll find yourself in a bit of a bind during the quest. Yennefer will confront Geralt about his feelings, and if you've been playing both sides, you'll have some explaining to do. The same thing with Triss, you'll have a moment of true connection, particularly in the quest Now or Never, where you help her save mages from persecution. But if you've been seeing Yennefer too, this relationship will come to a head when Triss finds out, leading to a confrontation where you must choose between the two. The game isn't kind to those trying to have the best of both worlds. If you attempt to keep both relationships going, you'll be eventually forced to decide during the quest final preparations. This choice can lead to a scenario where, if you're not careful with your dialogue choices, you might just end up with neither, leaving Geralt alone and both women abandoning him in a pretty comical situation. Now this one is probably the worst on the list by far. If I see you on a Witcher 3 playthrough with Geralt and he has short hair, I'm going to need you to put the fries in the bag immediately, because there is no way that you're going to see Geralt walking around in Novigrad, Oxenfurt or even Velen with a short haircut. I personally think that if you do go ahead and like this haircut and enjoy it, you need to be banned from the Witcher series entirely and possibly move on to Roblox. Olgierd, once a noble knight turned into a cursed, emotionless man, has made a pact with Gaunter, the mysterious and malevolent man of glass. Now, if you choose to side with Gaunter bringing Olgierd to him, you are essentially dooming Olgierd to eternal suffering. But Gaunter will reward you handsomely for this dark deed. You get to pick one of these incredible boons. You can pick between the Horn of Plenty, which allows you to summon infinite food. You can get a saddle for Roach, which turns her into a demonic steed, significantly boosting her stats, making her faster, stronger, and more resilient. Or you can get an endless vodka bottle, which I'm sure you can figure out what it does. On my first playthrough, in all honesty, I made this choice, and let me tell you, I was absolutely petrified to mess with Gaunter. It's a pretty dark choice with heavy moral implications. You're not just ending Olgierd's life, you're condemning him to an eternal torment at the hands of a being far more sinister than any monster Geralt has ever faced. This decision not only affects the outcome of the quest, but also leaves a lasting impact on how you view your journey through the game, and it's a reminder that in The Witcher 3, power and pleasure can come at a steep, soul-crushing price. Leaving Whoreson Jr. alive is probably the worst thing you could do in this game. But then again, I said the worst thing you could do was have a short haircut on Geralt, and the thing that I'm probably going to say next after this is probably even a little bit worse, so who knows. Whoreson Jr. was not just your average villain, he was a sadistic, ruthless crime lord whose actions included exploitation, violence and corruption. He controlled brothels where women were treated as commodities, often under horrifying conditions. His methods are brutal, he's known for torturing and killing those who cross him or just fail to meet his expectations. Junior has his claws in every shady deal in Novigrad, corrupting the already murky waters of the city's politics and crime. When you do finally track him down, you have the opportunity to end his reign of terror. Here's why actually letting him live is one of the worst decisions. By sparing him, you are denying justice to all those he has wronged. His victims, including Zoltan's friend, would be then suffering without retribution. Junior would also then continue his operations, leading to more exploitation, violence and corruption. His death would at least signal to others that that behaviour wouldn't go unchecked. For Geralt, this choice can feel like unfinished business. The game is filled with narratives of redemption, revenge and justice, so in hindsight just letting Junior go goes against the grain of these themes. To choose the decision to let him live kind of just goes against the narrative in a way that feels unsatisfying. The game provides you with the tools, the motivation and the opportunity to do what's right by the standards of the Witcher's morally grey world. His death in a way is sort of poetic. It brings sort of closure to his storyline and serves as a statement of what Geralt actually does stand for, protecting the innocent and punishing the wicked. If I told you that the worst thing you could probably do in the entire Witcher 3 was something that I actually did in my first playthrough, would you think any different of me as a person? No? Good, because yeah, I did this on my first playthrough. I sold Ciri to Emhyr because I was low on funds and I didn't want my work to go uncompensated. I mean, I did a lot of travelling all around Velin and I just felt like I deserved a few orens or so. And then I went ahead and had the nerve to actually complain when I had the worst possible ending, and I thought I would be saved by just having a snowball fight with Ciri. Emhyr offers you a sum of money, which is ironically less than what you probably get from selling some mundane items. The exchange is not just for money, but for Ciri herself, essentially betraying her trust and love for Geralt. But yeah, if you do choose this path, Ciri's future is pretty bleak. She's forced into a life she dreads, potentially becoming a political tool or worse, under control of someone who just used her for his own gain. Bearing in mind this is the same person that actually wanted to impregnate her. But like I said, this leads to the worst ending in the Witcher games, and this directly leads to where Ciri perishes and Geralt is left with nothing but regret and loss. And yes, by that I do think he does survive the encounter with the drowners, etc. A lot of people think he dies during that, but I'm pretty sure it's obvious he survived with the dialogue with Regis that he has afterwards. Personally, looking back, the regret was not just missing out on a better ending, but about the emotional journey that you probably share with Ciri through the game. It really felt like I shouldn't have done that as soon as I did it, but those orens were looking too helpful for my current bank account. She's fought beside you, saved your life, and you've watched her grow, so to do all of that and then just undo it for mere coins is a decision that goes against everything that Geralt stands for, and everything that the Witcher series stands for as a whole. Although I do still find the concept of selling Ciri very funny, I do apologise, but I think that's probably what the thumbnail of this video is going to be. It's going to be a big picture of Ciri being sold to Emhyr. But that's going to wrap this video up anyway. I'm sure there's many choices that I could have included. I could have made this a top 10 or even a top 15 list. I just wanted to get something out that was to do with The Witcher, because lately a lot of Bethesda videos of mine have been doing well. If there are any Witcher videos in particular you would like to see in the future, please do let me know. I would much prefer to make a Witcher video over any other gaming topic, as this is my favourite franchise of all time, so I would jump at the idea to make a good video about something to do with The Witcher. It's just there's not an awful lot to do about The Witcher, because it's already been done. Maybe I'm about 9 years too late. My own fault. But let me know what you think about this list. Have you done any of these things in your first, second, or even your 27th playthrough? Thank you very much for watching and have a great rest of your day.